Hi everybody, this is Chris once again from fluentinmandarin.com, and I just wanted to make a little video today to tell you some of the basics that you need to know about writing Chinese characters. There are only a few basic strokes that you use in all of the Chinese characters. This small number of strokes can be used in different combinations to write all of the characters in Chinese, so there is a methodology to it. So let's have a look at some of the basic strokes that you'll need to know to write Chinese characters. So the first one is called in Chinese dian, which is a dot. Or, in fact, it's not actually a dot. It's not like you're just making a tiny dot on the page. It's actually kind of a line or a tiny stroke of the pen or the brush. And it's a small slanting stroke written from top to bottom in the direction shown by the arrow on the screen. So all of these different types of strokes in Chinese have names in Chinese, but you don't necessarily need to know what they're called in Chinese to be able to write Chinese. I've just put them on because some people will ask about it. Some people have been asking me what these strokes are called. But you don't need to remember the actual Chinese names. I'm just putting them there for reference. Okay, so this is the first one. The second stroke is a horizontal stroke written from left to right. Very simple, in the direction of the arrow that you can see. And this is called heng in Chinese. So you may be wondering, why does this stroke look like it's not a completely straight line with the equal thickness from left to right? And that's because in this example, it's almost like this stroke has been written with a brush. So when you write a stroke of a character with a brush, normally the ink will accumulate at the end of the stroke. So it's not going to be of equal thickness. But if you're writing with a pen or a pencil, which most people do nowadays, then it'll be of equal thickness from left to right, most likely. So you don't have to worry about that. The third stroke is a vertical line written from top to bottom. Just a vertical line, and in Chinese this is called shu. The fourth stroke is a slanting or diagonal stroke written from top to bottom, falling from right to left. It's not a straight line, it's a diagonal stroke, and from right to left. And in Chinese, this is called pierre. So this stroke has to be written from the top to bottom, in that direction. And you'll see another one which is written from bottom to top in a minute. The fifth basic stroke is another slanting or diagonal stroke, but it's written in the other direction, from top to bottom as well, but falling from left to right. And this is normally a curved stroke or a slanting line. And this in Chinese is called na. This is number 5. Number 6 is an upward stroke written from bottom left to top right. So I just mentioned a stroke that is going from the top to the bottom. This is written from the bottom upwards in the direction shown by the arrow. Okay, so some people in Chinese identify 6 basic strokes. Some traditional sources will identify 8 basic strokes. And traditionally, when Chinese people are learning to write characters or writing calligraphy, these so-called 8 basic strokes can be demonstrated in the character for eternal or forever, which you can see on the screen is called yong in the third tone, yong. This is often used in Chinese calligraphy practice. This in Chinese is called yongzibafa, which means the 8 strokes effectively written in the character yong. Okay, so now I'm going to explain to you how these different strokes are written using the example of the character yong, forever or eternal. So the first stroke is this dian, which is, if you can see my mouse, it's a small stroke of the pen or the pencil or whatever you're writing with in this direction. Then the second stroke is actually made up of 3 different basic strokes. The first one is heng, the horizontal line. The second one is shu, which is the vertical line, and then the third part is go, which means a hook. I'm going to talk about hooks in a minute. They can be added to a number of the basic strokes in Chinese. Then we have the third stroke of the character, which is made up of 2 of the basic strokes. So first of all, you've got this T, which is a line which is sloping slightly upwards, and it's written from bottom to top, like this. And then the next part is pierre, which is written like that. Then we have the last two strokes of this character. We've got 短撇, and this is a short version of this stroke here, the 撇 that you saw just now. So in Chinese, this can be called 短撇, a short version of this 撇. Again, it's written from top to bottom, not from bottom to top. And then the last stroke is also written from top to bottom, and it's called 那. So it looks like this, and it's written from top to bottom. Okay, so let me show you another quicker version of how this character is written. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, let's see that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So as you can see, there are different types of strokes written in different ways. Okay, so as I just mentioned, some strokes can contain hooks, which can be added to other different types of strokes, and these are called go in Chinese. So this hook can be added to a horizontal stroke, a vertical stroke, as we just saw, a slanting stroke, a curved stroke, or a flat curved stroke. Okay, and these have different names in Chinese according to the situation. So these are hooks. It's basically a little flick of the pen or a pencil at the end of the stroke to make a hook. Another type of stroke is one that contains a turn, and a turn in Chinese is called 折. So this is just a change of direction in the middle of the stroke. So let's have a look at some examples. The first one is a horizontal line and then a vertical line, so this is a turn. Then we've got a vertical line, then a horizontal line. So this is another change of direction, another turn that you'll see in characters. So these are all the basic strokes. Depending on who you ask, there may be 6 basic strokes or 8 basic strokes described. However, all of these strokes can be used in different combinations in a single stroke of the pen. So let me just give you some examples. There's lots of different examples, but I just want to give you a few examples so we don't make this overly complicated. So this example is a 横, then a 撇, or a 撇, then a 点. So 2 different types of strokes, but these would be written with a single stroke of the pen. So in other words, you write this without taking your pen off the paper. So let me give you some more examples. We've got this one, which is a horizontal stroke, and then a turn, then a vertical stroke, and a hook. Then we've got a horizontal stroke, then a curved stroke going down, a bend, and then the hook on the end. And here we've got some more examples of, for example, a horizontal stroke, then a diagonal stroke going down, and then a curved stroke with a hook on the end. And here's another example, a horizontal stroke, a curved slanting stroke, and then a hook on the end. So this is, again, a single stroke of the pen. As I said, there's quite a few different combinations. I'm not going to go over them one by one in this video. So let's have a look at some more character writing examples. The first example I want to show you now is 火, which means fire in Chinese. And this is made up of 1, 2, 3, 4 strokes. 点, 短撇, 撇, 捺. So all of these strokes are actually just basic strokes. They're not combinations. Let's have a look at how to write this character again. 点, 短撇, 撇, 捺. 点, 短撇, 撇, 捺. Again, you don't have to worry about the names of these strokes. I'm just telling you them for this video. Okay, the next example is 中, which means middle or China. And this character is written with 1, 2, 3, 4 strokes. So we've got 竖, 横折, 横, 竖. 竖, 横折, 横, 竖. The 2 different parts of this character are marked in red and blue, but normally this would obviously be the same color. I don't want to confuse anybody with that. So here's what the character looks like normally. And as you can see, it's got a box in the middle, but this box part is actually written with 1, 2, 3 different strokes. So let's have a look at this again. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's not written with as a single box, and it's certainly not written as a circle. So as you'll notice, there are the characters are always written with these standard strokes. You won't get circles, you won't get really wavy lines, you won't get dotted lines or anything weird like that. Always the standard strokes. Okay, so the last example I want to show you is 手, and this is written with 4 strokes. And you'll notice that the first stroke of this character is written from top to bottom. and from right to left direction. And the second character and the second stroke is written from left to right. So the first two strokes are actually written in the opposite order. The first is from right to left, the second from left to right. So pay attention to this. So let's have a look at how this is written. 短撇横横竖钩短撇横横竖钩 So the last stroke is a vertical line, or almost vertical in this example, with a hook on the bottom. So this is the character for hand, 手. Okay, so I really hope this video helps you to understand some of the basics of how Chinese characters are written and the different strokes within them. Check out my other videos about Chinese characters if you haven't already. And if you're just getting started with Chinese, or you're just picking it up again, then click on the link on the screen right now to sign up, and you'll receive a copy of my free ebook, The 10 Biggest Mistakes Beginners in Chinese Make and How You Can Avoid Them. This is sharing some of the mistakes that I've seen a lot of people make, and it will save you a load of time if you can learn these tips. Okay, and also check out my website, fluentinmandarin.com, to get all of my latest lessons and to check out my full Chinese courses as well. And don't forget to subscribe and like this video. Hope you enjoyed it. See you next time.